Hello and happy Sunday to everyone. It's Kimberly Sanders and my Isabelle Houle. And we
Hello.
are here to share her story. And we were speaking yesterday, and it was so beautiful to have her share with me that her iron levels are at tip top. And this woman has really gone through a healing journey and she's truly healed herself. And I was so excited to have her share with you all because I know the power of sharing stories and the way that she has done what she's done. I know it can help other people. So, Miss Isabelle, I'd love for you to take it away and tell us who you are, what you've been doing, and tell us about how powerful you are too with what you've been creating for others to heal as well.
Okay, I'll start and you'll ask questions if I'm not saying
Okay.
what you want me to say.
Good.
So, yes, I'm Isabelle Houle, just as you said. And so I'm a coach. I'm helping people recovering from addiction and in a holistic way. I'm a social worker for 26 plus years. I think it's 26 or 27 years. So I helped a lot of kids and family and men at some point, and now everything I do brings me back to helping people recovering from addiction and in a holistic way. So I'm doing that now, but before that, I had to deal with a long disease with Crohn's disease. I was sick for 10 years. I spent a lot of time in the hospitals looking for the right protocol to help me because nothing would work on me. Some medication almost killed me. Like, it was really hard. And the reason why we were talking about my iron level yesterday, we have exciting conversation, you and I, iron levels, is because all of my life, my iron levels were very low. That before the disease, it was low. And then with Crohn's, because your gut is so inflamed, you're not absorbing anything and the body is not processing anything. So you're just, I don't know if you can say that, malnourished. Like, everything you eat is just like going through you. So I had anemia. Is it the right way to say it? Yeah. So I had anemia for a long time, and then my levels went to 3. So I was not anemic anymore, but my iron levels were very low. And I didn't know that I was supposed to be around 30. I didn't know that. They just wanted me to take iron supplements, from the doctor, from the drugstore. And I was like, no, because it's very potent in heavy metals, these things. So you're not even absorbing the iron that they give you, or so little, because you're absorbing all the heavy metals that are in it. So I didn't want to take them. And I told my doctor that I would take care of it. And at the beginning, she was laughing because I also told her that I would take care of Crohn's. So I was taking the medications because I was so sick, but while I was taking the medication, I was still doing everything I could to get off medication because I always believed that my body could heal itself. Like, I had no doubts about it. So, and I read so many stories of people healing Crohn's and colitis and other story of like non-curable disease that were cured by people with, yes, their food, but also their lifestyle. So I read that all about that. So I knew I could do that. So it took a long time. It took 10 years for me to get, a little less than 10 years. Yeah, 9 years. Because the last time I gave myself a shot of medication, because it's really hard drugs that they give you. You have to inject yourself with biological agents that are really stronger than chemo. So the last time I gave that medication to myself was in July 2020, right after my first ULT, my Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Kit. So for a long time, I was doing all the things, bringing more fruits into my body, like we were just saying before we go live. So more fruit, more greens. I learned a lot about glyphosate at the time, about raw food. It was hard for me to eat raw. So I was, all the things. I did all the things. And I did look into myself, the emotional part and pieces that I needed to work on to get rid of Crohn's for good. And then I met the ULT, and I did the ULT, and by the 50, I think it was day 15 or 16, or just right after Super Cleanser, I knew that I would give myself the last shot. I had the syringe in my fridge. It would be the last time. I knew it would be the last time. So I told my doctor that. And she was worried about me because they never, like, it's so rare that someone will get better and never go back. Some people can go off medication for a while and then they will go back because they don't manage stress, they don't look into the emotional pieces, and they're at some point they'll go back on coffee every morning, and you know. So she was worried about me, but she knew I was disciplined. So I said to her, because she could have told me, I'm done with you. She could have done that. It was okay for her to do that, but I asked her to keep on following my progress, and she said yes. So for the past 4 years, she's been looking at my blood works and everything else she needs to look into with Crohn's. And on Thursday, I had a call with her, and she told me, you're the one who's right. I never thought I would hear that from you. You're the one who's right. You don't need medication for Crohn's. And if in a year from now it's still the case, I'll close your file. But if you ever need me, my door will be open. And then she said, and your iron levels are at 30. What you need to know is that last year it was at 14, and I was super happy. I thought it was the most I could get, 14. And then my family doctor this year told me, yeah, 14 is good, but you should be around 30. I'm like, oh, geez. I was so happy with my 14. I was so happy with my 9 a year and a half ago. So I went from 3 to 6 to 9 to 14, and then 30 this year. Yes. Yeah, I was in my car, I was super excited. Like, and yeah, and you tell someone, my iron levels are 30. And you're like, oh. My mom was like, what does it mean? It's good. Oh, yeah. So since I said that on my social medias, everyone are asking me how I did that, because a lot of people are struggling with low levels of iron. That's what I'm finding out right now, because we don't eat well, because our gut is leaky, because we don't absorb what we eat. My naturopath says we are not what we eat, we are what we digest, which means we are what we absorb. So you can eat whatever you want, but if you don't absorb it, ça sert à rien. There's no use to it. So yeah, so I did that. So what did yesterday I did a live in French to explain what I did. So the first thing was cleaning my body and get a healthy gut. It's when I got the healthy gut that I started to see my iron level go higher and higher. So it's the first thing, because with a healthy gut, now my gut can do its job and absorb the nutrients and everything else, the minerals I'm eating, and and then my body becomes a more efficient machine and can heal itself and can, so that was the first thing. And then so the biomedic was the first piece. That's funny. The biomedic was the first thing with the power shake. And even if the power shake is not super high in iron, it still has iron in it, because one of the first ingredients is spirulina. And now we know that spirulina is, it's in French in my mind right now. But you absorb spirulina. The iron in spirulina is as absorbable as the iron in meat. Yeah. So, and I don't have a real problem now with eating meat sometimes for people, but my real problem is the quality of meat and how the animals are raised and treated and all of that. So when you don't eat quality meat, you don't absorb your iron, and you absorb pain, and you absorb a karma, and you absorb a lot of hormones and antibiotics and everything you don't want to. So if you're going to have a steak from the grocery store to get your iron level high, stop doing that. Like, don't do that. It's a lost cause. Don't do that. So healing the gut with biomedic, but then bring in the power shake and starting to absorb the iron and process the iron in the spirulina, which is, I think, the third ingredients, right? Or fourth in the power shake. And everything else, there's a lot of greens in power shake, a lot of iron in the power shake, in the greens. So I started to absorb that more in the minerals and the complex B vitamins, because most of us, it's not we consume or eat enough iron. We don't absorb the iron we consume. So we need the complex B vitamins to absorb more. So I took a supplement for a while, doing the biomedic and the power shake and the apathy cherry. Cherries are super rich in iron. So when you start to absorb what you're eating, the cherry will do its job too in your body. So I did that for the past 4 years. So every year, because I took Floridix like maybe 3 times in 4 years. Just because I don't know, I felt like maybe I could do that, which is a iron supplement, but it's from plants. It's plant-based and it tastes good, and yeah. So I did that 3 times in 4 years. So it's not the reason why my iron levels went so high. The reason is the lifestyle, the patience, the consistency with my superfoods, with my lifestyle. And then I add our spirulina. I looked into it. I never saw another spirulina that has 6 grams of protein by tablespoon. Okay, I'm saying it, I'm like, wow. 6 grams of protein by tablespoon. I put that into my power shake or any green juice that I'm making for myself. And I know that the iron that the spirulina contains will be processed in the same way that if I was having a steak, a quality steak. So I'm doing that, and the chlorella to get rid of the heavy metals from all the meds that I took, and the apathy cherry I told you. And what do I do? What do I use? All the greens, Kamut blend, barley green juice. I don't use them all together, but one or the other, barley or Kamut blend in my green juices or drink. Yeah, so that's about it. And so now, almost 4 years later, in July it will be 4 years. Crohn's is undetectable, and my iron levels are higher than ever. Like in 46 years, I never had iron levels that high. So I'm a normal person. My body's working in the right way, in its powerful way. So yeah, and I'm helping my people now with that. Like addicts, they don't absorb their iron or any nutrients whatsoever. Their guts are, I'm sorry for that word, but because there's so much glyphosate in alcohol, and when you do cocaine or smoke pot or whatever, you're always living on adrenaline and cortisol, and your liver is like, what am I doing with all this stuff? And it's a vicious circle, and you get unbalanced and malnourished again, and it's very hard to quit doing something bad for you, like drinking too much or smoking pot too much or doing cocaine or watch porn or whatever you're doing that is not good for you, that makes you look away from what you should look at. It's very difficult to make another decision when your gut is inflamed, that you're not absorbing your minerals. You can't think right. Your serotonin levels are too low, and you can't think right, and you're not producing enough melatonin if you're not producing enough serotonin. So helping my clients with their gut and their lifestyle, their nutrition lifestyle, if they don't, when I meet them, if they didn't quit already, in 3 months, they do. My brain is bilingual, and they do réussir to quit. They succeed to quit into 3 months into nutrition lifestyle, and then the space is created so they can get to the emotional pieces and everything else. Did I miss something, mon ami?
That was so beautiful. And I love that you're speaking to the addiction part and what you have done. And Isabelle is created a really beautiful course for people. You've been working, helping people be free from addictions for how long now?
This program, when I used to work with kids, it was like my expertise, and it was so funny because I was a drunk, but I didn't know how bad it was for myself. And anyway, so it's been more than 20 years, but really doing that full time, if I'm doing anything full time, but anyway, this program was created in the way it is in 2020, but it existed since 2017. So I don't know, 7 years? Yeah, 7 years in that way. Yeah.
So
With
it's so
yoga and nutrition and NLP and timeline therapy and all the things, all the things we learned that works.
well, thank you for listing those because I know people are going to be watching this and get curious of what it really is. So Isabelle is French Canadian, so her information is in French. But just so grateful to hear and get to celebrate you and have your success be seen and really offer so much knowing. I really released the word hope out of my vocabulary because hope leaves for so much that it won't be the case.
Uncertainty, yes.
And so this knowing that with the dedication, like you just heard, that she's offered herself and the devotion to really stepping into the self-love systems with Purium and all the other things too. It's holistic. It's a whole synchronized goodness to bring in all of the balance into our lives. So if you're watching this, it was definitely sent to you on purpose so that you can reach out to Isabelle and have her help you. And if you know anyone that is suffering from Crohn's and would like to take full responsibility for their lifestyle and their wellness journey, then share this with them and have them see that there is total light within them and we are walking through the tunnel. So we are the light walking through the tunnel and there's solutions and we have the tools. So
Yes.
thank you so much. Do you wish to share anything else before we
No,
close?
well, thank you. Thank you. I love you. And I'll be happy to help people in English.
Yes.
Even if my information on the internet is all in French, I'll be happy to help in English. No worries. So, yeah, don't feel shy, and I'll answer any questions about addiction, recovery, or Crohn's or whatever. I'll be happy to.
She's an angel. Thank you so
Oh,
much. I
you're
love
an
you
angel.
so
I love you.
much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.